All right, guys. So this news came out of nowhere, and I brought for this. This is a special. This is a special occasion. This is a crossover, if you will. I brought my good friend Matt Dennion, the author of Atomic Rex, here.
Hi, everybody. Tyler, I'm super excited to discuss this with the news we just learned.
Yeah.
I'm super excited.
And you know, as fans, we have to have, like, as much as we have excitement, we have to have a quiet dignity and grace at some points. Having said that, though, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!
Yes. I feel the same way. So, we just learned, and it seems like we can confirm, right?
Yeah, we can confirm.
Sources that that's something we had talked about a while ago is going to happen and be even bigger than we thought. Why don't you break the news, Tyler? Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting Justice League versus Godzilla and Kong. The Monsterverse is fighting the DC Universe.
Which you had said would be a great idea for a crossover. And in one of your videos previously, I believe, for Godzilla to meet the DC characters following the Power Rangers' success with that crossover. And you and I did a video together discussing some ideas, and then this just came across, and adding Kong onto it too is fantastic. I'm a huge Kong fan, so getting both Godzilla, Kong, and the Justice League, I can't wait, man. I cannot wait.
I think we kind of knew this was coming. That's the thing, is that we all kind of knew at one point or another this was coming for multiple reasons. One, they're both under Warner Bros. This is the Monsterverse. This is not IDW. We need to clarify real quick.
Yeah.
This isn't the IDW Godzilla comics. That's that's with Toho. This is actually with the Legendary Comics.
Right, so it makes sense for them to do that with DC under Warner Brothers, since they're still doing the Monsterverse movies through Warner Brothers, despite their falling outs otherwise.
Yeah. So man, I was expecting a Godzilla Justice League crossover. I think that was you and I were thinking that was inevitable, but we didn't think it would be the whole Monsterverse.
No, it's super cool because it also now gives access to Behemoth and Scylla and the Mutos, and go down a list of other monsters that have appeared in the Monsterverse. Might even get a bit of a teaser for Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. You know, who knows?
Yeah. This is a major moment because I think, like, again, we were more expecting IDW, but to have, like, Godzilla versus Justice League, I think was all expected. To have Kong in the mix, too, just opens up a whole new thing. And it does look like Godzilla and Kong are just going to be rampaging across the DC universe, and the Justice League are caught in the crossfire.
I love it. It sets up for so many fantastic dynamics, many of which we had spoken about. Putting Kong in there, too, gives us the opportunity where, like, maybe the majority of the Justice League is dealing with Kong, and we get, like, a one-on-one Superman versus Godzilla, which, you know, I've wanted forever, and I know a lot of other fans have, too. It would be amazing to see. And then the dynamics, we talked about other cool things that would be neat to see in this type of mix, like Starro the Conqueror, or some of the other giant monsters in the DC universe. So anything from Aquaman's menagerie of monsters would be fantastic to see take on Godzilla or Kong. You know, I think it'd be great. Yeah.
There is actually, I did a little digging, and there's one image of a variant cover of a giant bat mech fighting Kong.
Oh, that's cool, man. I like it.
Yeah, this that's the thing, is that, like, we're gonna see Batman in a mech suit fight a giant monkey.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah, but
I love it.
That's the big draw right here for me, is we're finally going to see Godzilla fight Superman.
Yes, yeah, I think that's is going to happen in this. I don't think there's any way they can get around it. I know it's a matchup people often talk about. It's a dream match people often talk about, you know? So to finally look like it's going to be reality is fantastic. And then there's so many other things we can see. Like we talked about the possibility of Wonder Woman interacting with some of the kaiju, something like Behemoth, for instance, where he's connected to the Earth and Wonder Woman's connected, to Earth in certain ways. Could be a really neat dynamic. Who knows what we're going to see?
Yeah. And also, does this mean we could get MonsterVerse Rodan, Ghidorah, and Mothra?
Possibly. I know the rights for them are perhaps slightly different, so I wouldn't necessarily bank on it, but I wouldn't rule it out. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I know they have, I would be curious if we'd get some of, could we get, some of the comic exclusive MonsterVerse Titans, like Camazotz or Tiamat?
Yes, I think that's much more likely, actually. I think that's much more likely than getting some of the Toho monsters.
God, I would absolutely love to see Camazotz, just smash into the Batcave.
Oh my god, that would be great! Yes, that would be great! How cool would that be, right? And it makes total sense.
Yeah. I would love to see, Godzilla, just Atlantis has just been destroyed, and they're like, what did this? And they're just like, a god did this, and I'm at a loss of words. This is...
I am too. The possibilities are endless about the amazing things we can see. But we could get a War of the Gargantuas between Kong and Titano, from Superman's background, the giant Kong kind of knockoff with the kryptonite eyes. Everything's on the table, right? I would think everything's on the table. But I think we're going to get, obviously, a ton of fun action to see. I think it's a good move by DC, because you saw how well Power Rangers Godzilla sold, right? It sold very well.
It sold banger numbers.
Yeah. So there's no reason that this shouldn't do as well. And then, before we start, I was talking, there's been nothing on the Marvel Ultraman crossover, so this could really kind of steal the thunder. And it looks like it's coming out in October, from everything I can find.
Yeah, it does look like it's getting an October drop. What's interesting is that I actually told you this, that I think this was going to be going to be announced at Comic-Con, but after Legendary during the strike, they announced they weren't going to do anything. They weren't going to say anything for their Godzilla vs. Kong panel, and this just got left in the dust.
Yes, I can definitely see this being a Comic-Con announcement. It would have been big, and it seems like it just came out today, kind of quietly, but I'm sure it'll spread like wildfire throughout the superhero and Godzilla kaiju community.
Yeah, it's definitely already moving like wildfire. In fact, I thought we when you shared that picture, you were like, "Is this fake?" And I was like, maybe, but it's a really good fake. But I need to look for myself, And then I kept digging. And I was like, "Oh, it's real." And in fact, I called you in a haste. You were just, I don't know if you were eating dinner or something like that, but
I was just getting ready to do my workout, so it takes a lot to pull me away from my routine workout. But Godzilla versus Kong versus Justice League would definitely do it. That's for sure.
Yeah. The comic is going to be written by Brian Buccellato, who is more known for art than writing. I do know he is a writer. Not the guy I would have picked, but sure.
Well, the visuals for this are going to be an important part of the storytelling, because when you have a Godzilla or Kong, it's not like you're doing a lot of dialogue. So maybe it makes a little bit more sense to go with somebody with an artistic background to it as well.
Yeah, that would make sense. It looks like it's going to be 5 or 6 issues long. That's the standard. But, yeah. It's happening, and I don't think any of us are prepared.
No, I was not. It definitely, I stopped to get my kids ice cream on my own from karate, and I'm just sliding through my news feed, wait, what is this? And that's, I sent it to you and some of our other friends because I couldn't confirm it at first, but it's real, like you said, upon looking it up. It looks like it's coming out in October. I love that it's a 3-part now. I think I mentioned to you earlier, it's reminiscent to me of Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, to do the Godzilla versus Kong versus Justice League as opposed to just Godzilla Justice League. I think that ramps it up a bit to throw Kong in there, obviously, too. And like you said, stuff we've always wanted to see. Godzilla versus Superman. I love the idea of a Batmech taking on Kong. Camazotz is a great idea. Can you just see a thing where the Suicide Squad is sent out and Man-Bat has to take on Camazotz and it's something where he's super overmatched or something like that. I mean, just go down the list. Clayface could be a nice stand-in for Hedra, right? In a certain matchup.
Yeah.
There's so many great things that we could see. Martian Manhunter could, morph into something to take them on. That would just be like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. Now, disclaimer though, so far we don't know if the rest of the MonsterVerse is involved. All we know is Godzilla and Kong. We're just kind of speculating that part.
Yes, yeah, we're just definitely speculating. The brief synopsis I could find suggested that there will be a rip-in universes, your typical crossover story that lands Godzilla and Kong at the very least in the Justice League universe, and then it seems like, as you had said, they might go on like a rampage, which would be great to see. At the very least, I think we can bank on Superman versus Godzilla, which I would be happy just with that.
Yeah, I mean, we finally got Godzilla fighting the Dragon Zord. It's time for his next big match.
Yes, for sure. For sure. I cannot see them. Obviously, that's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. And who knows what other crazy fun things we can see. I do gotta imagine there's going to be a villain monster in some respect, whether that's from the MonsterVerse or something new or something from DC. We had talked about how fun it was to. We didn't get Rita riding Ghidorah in the Power Rangers crossover, but we got how it would be if Rita tried to interact with something like Ghidorah. I imagine there's got to be something similar that occurs in this crossover as well, but I can't.
You think it might be like a LexCorp? I'm gonna throw my theory out. LexCorp Mechagodzilla.
I can see that. Yeah, it was one of the ones in the back of my head was a LexCorp Mechagodzilla. Yes, I can definitely see that.
Yeah. They did say, I read somewhere that the Legion of Doom is involved, so...
Okay, yeah, no, LexCorp Mechagodzilla would make sense, but they could go in a bunch of different avenues with it. It's very hard. I mean, you and I just learned this, so it's not like we've had a lot of time to digest and really process what we can see. We're just kind of, shooting from the hip on ideas here.
Yeah, it's just, we're just kind of running high on endorphins.
Yeah. But I mean, it's extremely exciting, and I cannot wait. And do you think, Tyler? I keep going way down the road on this, but given how successful DC's done with crossovers becoming animated films, for instance, we got Batman TMNT, we got Justice League RWBY Part 1 and Part 2 coming out. So regardless what you thought of any of those three, do you think there's a chance we could get this as an animated epic down the road?
Could it happen? Yes. Is it likely? That's where I'm kind of iffy because I don't know where the animation rights for Godzilla land for Warner Brothers and Toho.
And Legendary, right?
And Legendary.
Legendary did take Kong to Netflix.
That's true.
So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the rights there, but I just to put that out there as a who knows type of idea.
That's what I keep forgetting is that it's not Warner Brothers directly. It's Legendary. That's what I keep forgetting.
Right. So who knows? Maybe. But right now it's just super exciting news. It's something you and I had hoped for that we thought was a decent possibility. I don't think Kong being in the mix was on either of our radars, but I think it's a happy addition, in my opinion at least. I think you think so as well, right?
Yeah, totally. To have Godzilla alone would have sold it, but to have you're throwing in the next biggest monster, and having them both fight in the DC universe is nothing short of amazing. And now if you're Marvel, you're like, damn it, we were trying to get that Ultraman Marvel crossover out now. Now we're gonna look bad.
Yeah, because I can't find anything about it since the announcement well over a year ago at this point.
Yeah.
Just that it was supposed to come out in 2023. I did stop at my local comic shop. They've got nothing on the radar for it, and they look 3 months ahead. So unless if it's coming out at the very tail end, like December of this year, I don't think it's happening this year.
Yeah, I don't and everyone's been mum about what's going on with the Ultraman comics because they've just kind of stopped at Marvel.
Right. So yeah, this is definitely going to be not cast Marvel in the best light. When they announced this a while ago, and nothing seems to be happening with it, and this was announced in mid-July for an October release. So, in comic terms, it's right around the corner.
Yeah. So, balls in your court, Marvel and Subaraya.
Yes, yeah, because I want to see that. I want to see Spider-Man and Ultraman, and I want to see Iron Man and a giant Iron Man fighting Ultraman monsters. But I think this for me, this is bigger to get the Justice League, Godzilla, and Kong. I mean, I'm not doubting the Ultraman Marvel. I definitely want to see it, but in my opinion, this is something I would look forward to more.
Yeah, and it does leave, like, now anything's possible, right? Like, any Godzilla's now it's open for any Godzilla, because now you can, instead of going to, like, trying to finagle with IDW and Toho, you could just go to Legendary.
Yes, yeah, which you've seen, and they said anything's possible. We've gotten the Power Rangers, we've gotten the Justice League. Do you think that Legendary, or I guess IDW, is tossing around the idea of reaching out to Gamera's representatives for a comic crossover, nothing else?
I think that's a possibility, but I'll tell you who's next.
What do you think?
Transformers.
Yes, you mentioned that before. I can totally see Transformers.
Now that they're over at Skybound, over at Image under Robert Kirkman, and Daniel Warren Johnson is writing and drawing Transformers. Dude, could you imagine? I don't know if you've known his artwork, but, like, just go check out his artwork, Daniel Warren Johnson. He did, like, a Beta Ray Bill miniseries and other stuff. Just imagine that with Godzilla and Transformers.
I'm looking at Transformers right now. Oh my gosh, yeah, that would look so cool, man. I do like his artwork. And I gotta get either the Dinobots or Tricticon taking on Godzilla, right? It's one of the two things I would need if that happens.
Yeah, that or even like Omega Supreme or Metroplex.
Yeah, something like that. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Right now, let's just bask in the glory of being excited, of having high hopes for Godzilla versus Kong versus Justice League, or is it actually Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But it's going to be super fun, and I can't wait, man. I cannot wait. Like you said, I'm at a loss for words about it. I don't know really what else to say. And the fact that it's the legendary version is actually extra cool to me, I think.
Yeah.
In this case, because it makes more sense.
Totally. So, yeah. You guys tell us in the comments below. What do you guys think of Godzilla versus Kong versus Justice League? Are you guys excited? Do you think you'll be the rest of the MonsterVerse showing up? And if so, what MonsterVerse kaiju do you want to see? And yeah, it's real, and I'm on cloud nine.
Me too. Thank you so much for bringing me on. I just found Kaiju News Outlet on Twitter, posted some more images. They've got a bunch of the Justice League fighting Godzilla, kind of akin to the old Avengers panel where they were fighting, and behind it is Kong on top of the Daily Planet with Green Lantern making a bunch of helicopters and planes to attack him. It's beautiful.
It's so beautiful. Anyway, so yeah, once again, you guys tell us in the comments below. Once again, I'd like to thank Matt Dennion for coming on here. Go check.
My pleasure. Thank you for asking me.
Yeah, go check out his books. This guy's a kaiju connoisseur.
Yes, thank you very much. You can find me on Amazon. Just look up Matthew Dennion. You'll see Atomic Rex, Chimera Scourge of the Gods, all my other series. If you Google me, I've updated my Google Sites page, so all of the books, you can see which order they go into, because Amazon doesn't always have them in the correct order, but you can find them there.
All right. Well, other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.